In distant laboratories, scientists are poring over centuries-old DNA using the latest technology to solve a mystery that has haunted historians for hundreds of years. Hello everyone. In this video, we will talk about the secret to a mysterious epidemic. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates. Let's get started. In the 16th century, a deadly epidemic swept through Guatemala and Mexico, killing millions of Aztecs in the last days of their empire. When scientists examined Aztec teeth, they unlocked the secret to a mysterious epidemic since its discovery. Researchers can now track DNA in humans who have been dead for hundreds of years, which may help solve the Aztec Empire's mystery. Finally, by studying the teeth of 16th century Mexicans, scientists believe they may have found the cause of the deadly epidemic. We'll look at what they found about the Aztecs' fall later, but first let's learn more about the people and their origins in Mexico's valley. The Aztec kingdom covered most of central Mexico, including modern-day Chiapas. The civilization was home to 6 million people at its peak, and a population of over 140,000 thrived in its capital, Tenochtitlan alone. According to historians, the Spanish conquered the Aztec Empire not only because of their superior weapons, but also because of a smallpox epidemic that killed up to 8 million people and decimated their populations, leaving them vulnerable to the European invasion. Just 2 decades after smallpox killed millions, another deadly epidemic swept through the remaining population, dubbed Cocolizli, which means pestilence and Nahu outlets, and spread across Central America at an alarming rate for 5 years starting in 1545. It's estimated that as many as 15 million people died after contracting the disease, which accounted for 80% of the Aztec population at the time. Most of the victims were in the regions now known as this tragic event ranks among the deadliest epidemics in human history, killing over half as many as the Black Death, which famously wiped out much of Western Europe 2 centuries earlier. In 1576, Spanish missionary Fray Juan de Torquemada stated that the fevers were contagious, blistering, and pestilential, and that the tongue was dry and black. Torquemada continued in his description of those with bug heads. They had an enormous thirst for urine of the colors green, vegetal green, and black, sometimes passing from the greenish color to the pale pulse, which was frequent, small, and weak, sometimes even null. The eyes and the whole body were yellow. Once the initial stage of the condition had passed, victims often succumbed to delirium and seizures, and then more symptoms would later develop. He worked hard and developed painful nodules behind one or both ears and heartache. It began tragically. 25 years after the first epidemic, the virus reappeared and killed roughly 50% of the remaining Aztec population over the course of 2 years. Torquemada described the effect this second disaster had on the land now occupied by the Spanish Empire in 1576. A great mortality and pestilence that lasted more than a year overcame the Indians. Despite smaller outbreaks in 1736 and 1813, it died out. Over the years, scientists and historians have proposed a number of explanations for the deadly Cocolizli outbreaks of the 16th century. In January 2018, a fascinating study appeared in the scientific journal Nature Ecology and Evolution. Researchers from various academic institutions used new technology to uncover some significant revelations about the Cocolizli epidemic. Researchers studied 2 deposits of human remains. One set of 24 skeletons was unearthed from a burial ground used during the Coca-Cola outbreak, and the other 5 came from a cemetery that predated the Spanish conquest, allowing the team to compare and contrast the 2. Historically, it has been difficult for researchers to extract DNA from human remains like these, but new technology like the Megan software has opened up many possibilities. In 2018, a Gene Child revealed the method to The Independent. It lets us screen for all infections without specifying a target organism, which is great. Researchers utilized MALT to list each germ in the teeth, and then one specialist manually evaluated the data to see if anything popped up often. They found one strain that was present in 10 cases. The gene told by independent ancient DNA doesn't often maintain well and breaks down over time, so to find it in 10 out of 24 is noteworthy. While rare in the 21st century, Salmonella enterica could have caused Eric fever, which causes vomiting, fever, and a rash. It is similar to the Salmonella that still spreads through communities today and infects humans through contaminated food and water. In overcrowded conditions, it can spell disaster, but it has never caused an epidemic as severe as Coca-Cola. For her part, the gene has highlighted that the location of the bacteria in the skeletons implies that the victims were badly infected. She told The Independent that Salmonella is a disease that you would normally catch through contaminated food or water sources. It would start in the gut, so finding it in the teeth suggests that it got into the bloodstream. The study suggests that the bug, like measles and smallpox, was transmitted over the ocean by the Spanish. Another paper released by Biorexiv in February 2017 supported this notion. According to this study, researchers found Salmonella enterica in the DNA of a Norwegian woman who died in 1200. However, this does not indicate that the strain crossed the Atlantic to wreak havoc on the Aztec population. The colonialists redistributed the remaining Aztec population across Central America and introduced new agricultural practices, which greatly increased the spread of the disease. Today, experts believe these changes may have created crowded conditions like those in which Salmonella still thrives. Others had suggested that the Spanish sent the broad infected livestock to Central America, where the disease soon spread among the population. But not everyone is convinced that the culprit behind Coca-Cola has finally been found. Epidemiologist Rodolfo Acuña Soto from Mexico's National Autonomous University has long suspected that a viral fever caused the epidemic, and his opinions have not changed. Even the authors of the study have acknowledged that Salmonella and a viral fever caused the epidemic. Instead, researchers think the tooth bacteria may have interacted with other infections. At the time, meanwhile, others have pointed out that DNA study is not an exhaustive approach. In a 2018 interview with the Atlantic microbiologist Nicholas Roscoven, researcher explained that RNA viruses could not have been detected by these techniques. As it stands, the team would need to carry out more tests to prove their theory that Salmonella enterica was behind the Coca-Cola outbreak, using samples from other burial sites to build up a clearer picture. That's it for today. What do you think about this incredible discovery? Let us know in the comments section. Please like and share our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for regular updates.